we consciously took this approach to kind of be closer to the Ethereum philosophy rather than the Cosmos philosophy, right? Like the Cosmos philosophy, in at least in my opinion, makes sense in a more application specific chain perspective. But if you are really trying to provide a more shared security kind of a product, then like the Ethereum philosophy matters more in that sense. Um, See, having said that, there are of course pros and cons, right? Like Ethereum has like this ability to onboard like hundreds of thousands of wallets, like 100,000 or like more maybe, right? Like, but the problem is that like there is a limit to communication complexity that a network can manage, right? Like, and so now there are discussions within the Ethereum community also to increase the 32 ETH, like deposit limit for staking to I think to 2048 or something like that. So because they want to ensure that, because see, the reality of what is happening is the people who want to stake a lot of ETH really end up running redundant validator nodes,
Yeah, yeah.
and so essentially increasing the traffic on the P2P traffic on the network, right? Like, and so there is a proposal which is under active discussion to increase the deposit limit to 2048 ETH so that it just reduces the validator number. And so I think the answer is somewhere in the middle, right? Like, I mean, Polkadot, made a lot of good choices on some of this, right? Like, I mean, it's not as low as, let's say, like a 30 or 100 kind of a figure. Although I won't say if 100 is a small figure, like it's a decent enough figure. But, like you don't want to be in the hundreds and thousands and then kind of try to scale back the number in that sense, right? Like, so we thought 1,000 was a good enough number. And on top of it, if you kind of look at it from a NPOS kind of a implementation point of view, like how many unique validators are really running your network, right? Like that is also an important metric. Like people like to call it the Nakamoto coefficient and so on. But even that is important, right? Like you can't have the same validators running too many multiple nodes, right? Like, so what are the levers that you can employ? Uh, and so this is like a broader question, right? Like, I mean, Ethereum is grappling with, let's say, things like, like Lido, like, and, like Ethereum restaking and, like those sort of things, right? Like, so at some point in time, we will also, like get into those kind of questions. And we really wanted to start off with the right foundational levers, to kind of, like solve this, right? Like otherwise, like changing some production network in between, like changing the things like the consensus is like it's a very big move for a network.